Hi friends, Dean here with Escape to Gaming. It's been a long time since I've made a video. Many of you know I had to get sick with COVID a second time and was out of work for a couple weeks and still have been having even worse migraines than before, which is one of the hallmarks, for me at least, with this COVID, is these awful headaches and fatigue, which you have to fight every day, you know, doing a physical job. It's tough, but I drink enough coffee and caffeine to try to plunge myself into it. But I feel much better. My voice is still a little hoarse and lungs are still pretty shot, but thank God I can still work. That's the main thing. And I'm slowly getting back into gaming, you know, as the migraines subside. So anyway, I picked up a few things. I thought I'd just take the time to kind of show you what I've been picking up and what I've been playing and what have you. First off, I had a gift from my good friend Justin in Tennessee. Contacted me and wanted to send me some games. He knew, kind of been watching and knew some of the games that I was going after. And I was really pleasantly surprised. Both of these, for whatever reason, I used to have both of these games years ago. I don't know why I got rid of them. I can't remember. But got me a really clean copy of PGR 3, Project Gotham Racing 3, which is my favorite. This is the one I played the most of all the 4 games. I got the 2 original Xbox versions, and I do have PGR 4. But this one is the one I sunk the most time into. This is a really good game. There's a Porsche Cayenne that I did a lot of the SUV challenges and races with that I did pretty well with. Great game. Thank you, Justin. This is a real, genuine treat to have this back in the collection, especially such a pristine, perfect case with the manuals and everything. And he got me Baja Edge of Control. Now, this I did have and bought it and loved this and played this extensively. And then they came out with a remastered version, which I bought for the PlayStation 4. And so I took it to Dimples and got rid of, I got the new version, I don't need this anymore. Now I'm kind of rethinking that, because just in case, for whatever reason, God forbid, with a CMOS thing with a battery that controls your achievements or trophies or whatever the hell it is. Apparently they reverse some of these things with the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 3, I believe. But just in case, if they go offline with the servers down the road and you can't play the PlayStation 4 version, I wanted to at least have the original version. So I had that was kind of a pattern that I had done for the first year, I'd say. They came up with remasters. Oh, look, BioShock remaster. Well, I don't need these old ones, and I had the twin pack, you know, BioShock 1 and 2, and one came in one pack. And that's in my next shipment of games coming. Jeremy found me a really clean one. Thank you, Jeremy, for that. So I'm slowly getting back the games that I stupidly get rid of. Oh, I got the new version, I don't need the old one. And in essence, that's kind of how I am. I just keep it streamlined. I don't need Need for Speed Most Wanted for the original Xbox if I have the Xbox 360 one, but both of those I can play offline on the consoles. But because going forward with the 8th gen, you just don't know. I just never know. So now I'm going to have to buy back, you know, well, I already got the BioShock ones coming, but a few other ones. Tomb Raider 2013, that one, GTA 5. I had the original one that I had over 100 hours in. I gave it to my friend in Oklahoma, Gary. I miss Gary. Gary had his own channel, and then I don't know, something happened. He had a collaboration thing with another YouTuber, and both of their personal lives and time busy, you know, get busy with work and families, and they just kind of let the channel go. But Gary was a big contributor early on, and I really miss him. But anyway, so thank you, Justin, for these. These were both wonderful treats and reminded me of a better time on YouTube and with gaming. When the 7th gen, we had so many games. I mean, there were some months, 4 or 5 games a month I would buy. Every month, and 2 games the next month, and 3 games the month after that, and then 4 games. And there were so many games in, like, you know, 2009, 10, 11, 12, just millions of games coming. Now I can barely find 3 or 4 games a year that interest me. They don't have a forced female protagonist, and just a lot of pandering and things and political correctness and just things that have frankly ruined a lot of the gaming for me personally. But anyway, so that's enough of that. I did pick up a few new games, which I'll show those last. But so I'm slowly going back to my VIP gaming store here in Boise. There's a really good mom and pop little retro store. it's pretty pick clean because it's one of the only places in town, and they even have used, Blu-rays and DVDs and stuff to sell there. But sadly, it's usually picked over. I can always find something, but it's rare that I ever find a holy grail. So I did pick up some good. Some of these games I got for 99 cents, some for $1.99, some for $2.99, and then some were more like $4.99 or $7.99, and there was even a couple for $15, which were kind of pricey, but still a lot better than what you'd find on, eBay or online. My God, it's so expensive. So I've kind of splurged and got a bunch of games here. I got MotoGP. This is one that I've always wanted to play. The MotoGP series, where it plays, road racing Ducatis and road racing bikes. Where I used to ride motorcycles years ago. I thought it'd be really cool to have this, and so I got that one in MotoGP 3. Both of these are really good. 3 is a little bit better, I think, but they're great games. Some of these I had or played years ago and traded them in. I'd play a game and get kind of tired of it. Oh, I'll trade them for something else, and I regret that now, obviously, and I'm trying not to do that again. This one looked really intriguing. It's a good stealth game. It's not Splinter Cell level, quality, obviously, but really unique and different. And it's just a different. You can do some crafting with your weapons and kind of MacGyver some things together to use for some of the missions, which is kind of cool. And that's a game Cold War for the original Xbox. These are all original Xbox ones I'm going to show here. I think I had 255 original Xbox games, so this adds another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 more original Xbox games. So now I've got 262, I guess. Wow, I'm getting up there. So anyway, I highly recommend this. There's some older reviews on this that look quite good. This is one that typically, this is the Devil May Cry games are not really a genre that I'm into, but this film with Hugh Jackson would look very interesting. And from what I've heard from more than 2 reviewers, this game is actually better than the film that it's based after. Kind of a vampire hunter, monster slayer, and that's a Van Helsing. Really good production quality, really good, kind of a Devil May Cry types of, hack and slash, but he's got some good ranged weapons too with guns and what have you. It looks really good. The graphics look fantastic in this. So this is one, it was a nice clean copy too, and it was very affordable, so I thought I'd jump on it. Now I have the Doom 3, from my original Xbox. Comes in a nice steel case and a clear oversleeve. And I had donated I had an even cleaner copy to Cameron of Industrial Gamer. I gave him a brand new modded Xbox that was outfitted with CoinOps 8 Massive, and I installed, like a dozen or more games in it. And I gave him, because it was one of the rare games in 1080i or P or whatever it was at the time, I gave him my Doom 3 copy. But even though I had the BFG edition, which has all of the expansions, I had to have this Resurrection of Evil. This was such a clean copy. I was just, every now and then my game store's got some really super clean cases. They look like they're brand new, like, mint condition. They've got the manual, the discs are clean, everything. If the disc has a few scratches, he sits and lovingly buffs them out, in the machine. And I've had no complaints. Now this is one that the case is not the greatest, with some scratches on the case. It had a sticker that was on there that it had damaged the cover to where I took the sticker off successfully, but it just had like part of it had, etched into it, the sticker itself. And that's this BMX XXX. Now this is a pretty unique game. It's pretty racy. You got to watch. There's an old Jeff Gertzman review that I remember when this game was new, and I'm like, oh, I got to get that, and it's got a lot of BMX type, half pipes and stuff like that. It's a cool BMX game. There's some other kind of like skateboarding games, but this one has some nude chicks or topless chicks riding little BMX bikes and stuff like that. It's crazy, but it's got some pretty wild graphics in it. I think this one was missing the manual, unfortunately. Yeah, it was. This is the one game I bought because it's hard to find, and I've never seen this available. And I wanted this game, and I'd like to have the manual. I may have my friend Al in Ohio. He has a way of printing the the manuals. Doesn't like them, even if it's in black and white copy paper, just to have it. But it's a cool game. It's a pretty interesting game, and I definitely wanted to have this in my list of games. So I think this has an inner sleeve thing, which is pretty interesting. So you pull out the sleeve, and this is what you're looking at. So sorry for any ladies that might be watching this. I know it's pretty sexist to show this kind of stuff, but it's just neat that this was the kind of games that they didn't pander. They just said, look, there's this demographic that likes these kind of games. We're going to give them what they want and give them what they like. We're not going to force feed something and minimize the attractiveness of the females or do any of this horse shit. That's just good old American, healthy, people with a healthy sexual appetite. They like seeing people of the opposite sex that look attractive, and to me, there's nothing wrong with that. But anyway, Mission Impossible. This is another one I really wanted for a long time. I love the Mission Impossible series, the original series. I have seen the first one with Tom Cruise, which I believe this is based off from, basically the story from the first one. I wasn't a huge fan. I mean, they at least kept the original music and stuff, which they do have in here. But this looks pretty good. It's kind of like, again, it's not a Splinter Cell quality level, but I think it's going to be pretty neat. And it's just, again, they're all complete. All of these games have got the manuals and are in great shape. Just that BMX one was the only one missing a manual. So anyway, that's my original Xbox series. And then I picked up a few Xbox 360 games. These are ones that I've been going after for a while and I just haven't got around to yet. This is one that I just got a couple days ago, and I've never played this one. Now, I used to have the MX versus ATV, and I had the Unleashed and all of those for the original Xbox. I think there's like 2 or 3 of them I've got. And I did have MX versus ATV Reflex, which I still think is the best game in the series to this day. Maybe with the exception of the new one is really good. But given how many tracks you have in it, there's a huge modding community on the MX versus Reflex. And if you play the PC version, people have modded, it's put hundreds of hours creating endless tracks. You can use every supercross track and track imaginable. But anyway, this is a close second to it, and that's MX versus ATV Alive. And this, again, all these have the manuals in them. They're all complete, and the discs are perfect. This one had a real bad case. It had some tears in it or scratches, so I asked them to replace to give me a nicer case. This is a great game. And all these, by the way, too, had stickers. Some of them had one of them had one of those MotoGP ones, had 7 stickers on it. So thank God I used my Bestine rubber cement thinner and safely removed them without hazing the plastic or damaging the printed artwork. Some of them were on the paper sleeves and some of the stickers are on the case. In both cases, you'd never know they were there. This is one I have all the Tom Clancy games, I think, except for this one. It's one I've always wanted. This is more of an online multiplayer game, but you can play it offline single player. And that's Tom Clancys and War. This looks really good. Another Ubisoft game, strategy game of the year. It looks very cool. And the fact that you can play these kind of games offline is pretty neat. So I jumped on that. They had quite a few copies of that. It was dirt cheap. Now, one of these I got for the PlayStation 2. In fact, I'll just show it right now. I got the game Stuntman Ignition for the PlayStation 2, and I had forgotten that it was also a cross-gen, they had it on the new gen. When I got home, I was watching some reviews of it to get up to speed, because this one I had played and done pretty well with. The first one I had problems with, which I'll talk about. But I was thrilled to see that they had the Xbox 360 version, so I got both versions of this. And what else did I get? Oh, and then I also got, I'll just show it now, I had Stuntman. The first one, which my friend Vinny from Idaho sent me the Stuntman strategy guide, which I love the guide. I was very thankful to have that. And I go, oh, I remember this game. This game is very challenging, very tougher than a cheap steak. It has to be precisely done a very particular way. And you have to practice sometimes 15, 20 times on some of these. This is a rage quitting game. It's very tough. It's a little clunky to go back and play it now. I think that this is refined in numerous ways over it. But the first Stuntman was good. It was trying to capture that, well, they get like a Dukes of Hazzard thing, and here's another scene that's out of another popular action film. And so we're trying to pick out mostly car stunts that were done in a particular way. And they're great games, so I'm happy to have this with the guide. I don't have the guide for Stuntman Ignition, but very happy to have, both of these. This one even came with a special movie ticket thing, which is kind of cool to see some film at the time when it came out. But Stuntman Ignition I really enjoyed. I put a lot of time into that. Again, what happened to the game? I don't have to buy it again, but so I got those, and I did have one more PlayStation 2 game just to show it. I'll show it now. And that's at Indiana Jones and the Staff of Kings. I didn't even know about this. Now, I thought it was a Wii-only game. I didn't know that it was on the PSP and on the PlayStation 2. So I was happy to find this. Now, I know it's got horrible mixed reviews. It's not the greatest development. It can't compare anything to the Emperor's Tomb, which is my favorite. I love that one. I do have the strategy guide for that. I need to get the guide for this one. But this looks very good. Now this one too, this is another one, rare exception. I usually never get them without a manual. This one didn't have the manual, but I was so thrilled just to see this. So you know what? I'm going to buy it now. And if I can find a friend that has it that just makes me some Xeroxes of the manual, I'll just get by with that. If not, I'll find another one. These are relatively cheap online, and maybe I'll even see one in my game store, and I'll rebuy it, and then I can sell this one or give it to a friend. I'll usually gift it to someone that needs one. So I got like 3 Xbox games. I got Stuntman, first Stuntman, Indiana Jones, and Stuntman Ignition, all for the PlayStation 2. I've got most of the PlayStation 2 games I want. There's still a few more that I'm going after. But anyway, getting back to the Xbox 360, I watched some reviews of more. I miss my, I love my Stoked Big Air Edition game and snowboarding game, which I play quite a bit, and I've got the AMP ones as well. But I got the Shaun White snowboarding game, it looked really good. They had pretty good reviews of it. It wasn't as stellar as some of the other snowboarding games, and he has some other ones, I think, for skateboarding as well, which I need to research those. But this looks really good for snowboarding, so I got it. And this is one that I wanted. I played the Blood Dragon, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, and bought digitally the first night it had it, and it needed a patch because I had a game-breaking bug. After hours of playing it, had to go all the way back to the beginning, and I refused to play it again. I was so mad. Well, now they've got the game patched and everything on disc. The only way to get it is to get the Far Cry compilation, which comes with Far Cry 2 and 3, and it also comes with the Blood Dragon, so on disc, even though I have it digitally in my 360 hard drive. So very thrilled to have this. I had a chance to buy this 6 months or 7 months ago, and I didn't. It was at a GameStop. I went back the next day, it was gone. I was like, it was only like $7. This one I think I paid like $15 for, a little more than I normally like paying for them, but still a good deal. My friend Jeremy's getting me a bunch of guides and games in the next box. I asked him to get me the Arkham Origins. Now I have it for the PlayStation 3. I pre-ordered that and the hardbound strategy guide, and I love my PlayStation 3 version of it. But for some reason, they have backwards compatibility you could have on the Montreal studios that did the Batman Origins, Arkham Origins. You can play that one backwards compatible. Why you can't play the two Rocksteady, Asylum, and City, I don't know. But so I said, you know what, just in case, I want to get all the Batman games since I love them. And I have played a little bit of Asylum and really enjoyed it, but I've never played the Batman Arkham City. So my friend Justin, who gave me these other 2 games, he found me a really clean, like Game of the Year edition or something of Arkham Asylum. So I went out and I found a really good, this is a special edition with all the bonus content and DLC of Arkham City. So soon I'll have all of them for the Xbox 360. It's a good collection to have. I do, again, have the Arkham Origin strategy guide and a hardbound, in fact, but I need to get the 2 softbound strategy guides. I do have it, and Jeremy sent me a hardbound edition for Arkham Knight, even though I had the softbound guide, and I sent the softbound guide I had to my friend Angel. So I always pass the savings on. If people are nice to me and give me something, then I give the gifts, or I'll give, if I have an extra one of those, I give it to someone else. In fact, Angel, I gave him my Batman Arkham Knight, brand new guide I ordered online, brand new, and got it in and played some of Arkham Knight on my TV. I got a digital version. Someone gifted me a PlayStation card, God, years ago, and I got Arkham Knight. I would have preferred having a physical copy of it, but I do have the digital version of the PlayStation 4 Pro. So I gave him my softbound edition of the Arkham Knight thing. And Angel, by the way, I haven't forgotten, I'm going to send you that other extra copy of Space Marines 2, Warhammer 40K Space Marines 2. I had, or Space Marines 1, I had a second copy of it. Case was kind of gnarled up, but I've got a disc and I think the manual for it, so I'm going to send those to you as soon as I can. So yeah, thrilled to have this. This looks like the complete version of it too, and that's what I also have coming for the Arkham Asylum, which is very excited about. I got 2 guides. This is very random. Now I have gone, there's not a lot of guides at my store. There's maybe 20, 25 guides these are total. Most I either have them or I'm not really interested in those games. This is one that I have the game and I wanted the guide for this. I just never added it to my list, so I was surprised finding it dirt cheap, really cheap. And that's the outfit. So another Brady guide. Really cool little, kind of like a squad-based tactical shooter, a little kind of somewhat top-down-ish third-person shooter type deal, but very cool game. It's a great guide too, very informative. And this is a surprising guide. Now my friend Jeremy showed this guide in a pickups video and I'd forgotten about it. Now I have the PlayStation 2 Wolfenstein Return to Castle Operation Resurrection, which is a PS2 special single-player guide. I didn't realize that they had one just for the Xbox, Tides of War, which is a very different game. It's, even though those campaigns are similar, you don't have the RPG elements that you have with the upgrades and with extra gold and hidden areas. Much more hidden areas and extra gold in the PlayStation 2 version. I need to do a video of all 3 ports, the PC port, the PlayStation 2, and the original Xbox port, because I probably know more than anybody that I know online. G-Man Lives finally did one comparing the 2 console versions. Did a pretty good job. He knows most of the stuff that I do, but I have even more details that he didn't even list in that one. There's different enemy types in one of them versus the other. But anyway, I found the original Xbox dirt cheap, like $5 too. So happy to have this. So now I've got both the Wolfenstein Return to Castle PlayStation 2 Operation Resurrection and the Tides of War guides. So I'm organizing my guides right now. I've got out there in my game room, and I'm trying to organize all my games as well. I did have a few new games. I think I showed my last video. I was picking this up. This I played. I've got maybe 3 hours or so into it. And it's very convoluted, the custom settings, where I wanted to play the default setting difficulty-wise, but there was some fine-tuning I wanted to do with the sniping that I didn't realize that you could do. So well, maybe I need to play it. Do I need to play the hard version then to play it? So I played it. I played the first level twice, and I discovered it's still, I'm just doing it the wrong settings. Finally, I saw a video where it goes in and there's like a hidden menus within sub-menus within sub-menus. You can go in and fine-tune the difficulty, kind of like Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. They can do the same thing. You can go in, you can fine-tune like the hints that make you see where the tombs are. You can go in and fine-tune the weapon difficulty and the shooting and all of that. So I need to play it for the 3rd time to get the settings the way I want to. So this is great. My headache has been so bad. This is when I like to really take my time, do a lot of thinking and kill all the enemies, and I wasn't able to do that, unfortunately, yet with this. So I want to get back to this. I've been playing some simpler games right now with like 30 minutes to an hour, and then my head's ready to explode, and that's about all I can handle. But you know, when I take my headache medicine, it helps, but then I get so sleepy and tired, it jacks up my reaction time. So it's a frustration. The COVID thing has just destroyed so many people's lives, and it has a special hatred for me because it just makes my life a living hell with fatigue, which I have to fight daily, and the migraines. But now I already had this Flat Out 4 Ultimate Total Insanity. I'm thinking of the other one for the Xbox 360, Ultimate Carnage. But Flat Out 4 Total Insanity. This is a great game. It's a really grindy game, though. I mean, you will have to play some of the same races 20-something times over and over to earn enough money to buy the upgrades, or God forbid, even buy the next car to enter the next level of races. It's very grindy. Well, they had some DLC for this I didn't even know they had, so I bought the DLC for this recently. And I'm anxious to try it. I think it's a different car and 2 new tracks, which is very cool because those tracks that they have are minimal. They have 5, 6, 7 tracks. And then they kind of change them up somewhat, but they're just difficult tracks to play. And then I also got one of my friends' viewers had mentioned in one of my community posts. I had posted something. He goes, "Dean, did you hear about the MX versus ATV Legends? Did you know it was out?" And I go, "Oh, it is?" I said, "I thought it wasn't out for another month or two." So normally I would have pre-ordered it and got a little bit better deal on it, but I didn't. It was like a $39.99 game, so I went, and they were all gone. In my area, every PlayStation 4 version was gone. I have the MX versus ATV Full Out, I think it's called, or Flat Out, or something like that. And that one's really good. I bought some DLC for that, extra bike packs, Kawi bikes. I like the Kawasaki bikes, so I usually will buy those. This one, from what I've seen, looks fantastic, and it plays. I've got a few hours in this. And that's MX versus ATV Legends. I got the Xbox One version. Now this you can play on the Xbox Series X or, which is kind of cool. So when I get my Series X soon, I'll be able to play this on there. The graphics are awesome. Huge open worlds, just very good tracks, free roaming. I mean, for days. They look like huge open worlds. There's some invisible walls on parts of them, but very impressive. Really good handling models. This, I think, some of the sound effects aren't the greatest on the 2-stroke bikes, and like the 125 class could be a little bit better sounding, but a great game. Very, very good. It's just like the tutorial is very basic. Like I didn't even know how to shift manually for the first few hours. I'm riding around the first gear, not getting enough speed to make jumps. I couldn't figure out, well, it's not automatic. How do you shift it? I didn't realize you have to push down on the R3, L3 thumbsticks to shift up and down. Finally discovered it by accident. This is a great game, and this next one I'll show you. Let me hold on. I'll get something for this one. This next one is one that I bought new. I did show a community post on this. This is an extremely rare game at very, very low print run. It was like a $30 or $40 price at the time, budget price. And that's a Metal Max Xeno Reborn. Now this is a 2018, kind of a fairly new game to be remastering, but they remastered it. They left some of the story elements. Apparently they changed it somewhat and did more RPG action with it. So I got this one, and new. It was the last copy they had. I pre-ordered it, and I had to wait like an extra week. It wasn't coming in. I was beginning to wonder if it was even ordered, and eventually they called me, "Hey, Dean, your game's in." So it's factory sealed. What do we do with factory sealed games, especially rare low print runs? It'll definitely go up in value. They cut them open. So I cut it open. And, oops, I thought I had it open. There we go. And peel that cellophane prison, San Quentin prison off it and free it. So now it's worth a fraction of what it's worth, but at least I can play the damn thing. So, oops, the disc popped out. I thought I heard it rolling around in there. Yeah, it's a great game. Very cool. I watched multiple reviews of this, and kind of like a Japanese anime Mad Max kind of concept of Tokyo, dystopian, post-apocalyptic future. Tokyo's like a giant desert, and reminds me of the Mad Max game. Everything was, oceans, and now it's all sand, and it's very similar. But very, very cool. And I also downloaded they had a PlayStation sale, summer sale, like a killer deal. They had the original 2018 one for only $10, like $9.99 online. Now I was going to try to buy the physical one, which is like 40 to 60 bucks online, but I said for 10 bucks to have the original one, which has more of the story elements in it and cutscenes and stuff. So that way I've got both of them. So I did find the original one, thank God. So anyway, that's the few things that I picked up and wanted to show. Sniper Elite 5, I'm anxious to get back to. I've had so much fun with it. It looks really good. I don't have any complaints with that. Just a little convoluted. They have so many different ways you can set up your guy. It's just very confusing. I wish they had a better tutorial. They kind of tell you how to play the game, but you have to go into all these hidden sub-menus and tutorials to read and find it. It's just challenging. It's not quite as evident as it was in the other ones. I mean, 3 and 4, I just put in and played them with no problem, you know, and it was very easy to play. I just inverted my aiming and I'm good to go. But this one, you really have to fine tune it the way you like, which is kind of a hassle. Now, the big news is the new Stray game that came out. I did a community post on how excited I was for that. As a huge cat fan, many of you know us. My Vinnie Corleone channel name was named after my Bengal cat. He just turned 13 last month. He's a wonderful cat. He doesn't seem old at all. He still races around. We let him outside, and he's still like a kitten. Somewhat kind of wild in a way, but domesticated at the same time. Anyway, he's a great little guy, and the little orange tabby that's in that game reminds me, and my wife too, very much of Vinny. Moves like him and kind of inquisitive like Vinny is, and just whoever did this knows cats, and you can tell they're cat lovers, and they picked up every little idiosyncrasy that cats, the little twitch of the tail and the way little sounds they make when they jump and do things, and it's just very much like my cat Vinny is, which I think is very cool. Now, I know a lot of people are not into cats. Like I told Solid Rev, the only game I'm looking forward to is that Stray game. He goes, "Oh, you're gonna play the little kitty cat game, huh?" And I go, "Yeah, dude." I said, I like cats. I'm not gonna hide that, and I really enjoy cats, and watching them interact will be really interesting to see what they do with this one. I had no idea. I saw some really interesting previews, but not a whole lot. It just looked like a basic platformer, basically, with some weird sci-fi elements. Well, it's a very story-driven, narrative-based game. Now there's tons of reviews out on it already. I'll show a little bit of footage here, just of the opening, part of it. But initially, you're with your outdoor mates. You're up in some post-apocalyptic world, kind of near the outside of some big underground city or what have you. And you get sadly separated from your other little stray cats. You hang out in a little, group together. And he plunges himself and falls way, way down in the city, gets hurt initially and kind of gets back on his feet and gets going. And it's a whole adventure you have to try to figure out. And there's no humans left. There's something killed off living creatures and humans, and they've got these strange robots which act and kind of replace humans and act as humans, even with their being left alone to their own devices. There's some look like they're drunks or walking around, half out of half in the bag or whatever. So it's a pretty interesting concept. And this cat has to, try to work with the robots. He's trying to find something out with them as he finds a little droid robot, which needs help. It's lost its memory, and it needs the cat to get him places, and the cat could use him to show him the way out. So it's kind of a mutual endeavor to get out of there, and it's beautifully done. Very good, super good story, and the world that they created is extremely beautiful and skill up. I watch, ACG as my primary source of game reviews, and my friend Joe, the alternative gamer, he does a lot of great reviews. He's kind of my second favorite. But Skill Up I watch from time to time. He's from down under Australia, and he has really good reviews. And he told me that, or he said in his review, he goes, "I don't even like cats. I've never understood what their attraction is. I don't particularly care for them. But I played this game, and I was just enthralled with it. It really impressed me, the world and the story. And so even from someone that doesn't even like cats, he was very impressed with it. So it's not just your run-of-the-mill game. Now, it has some cutesy cat-type tropes and things in it, which naturally any cat lover would like. We have tons of games with dogs in it, which everyone loves dogs. So, and I used to have a couple German Shepherds and used to have fun with them and take them in my Bronco with me. And dogs are fun, and they're a different type of animal. But cats, you know, are a different breed. They're the closest thing to their wild counterparts that you can have domesticated as an animal, even more so than a dog. They're still kind of wild, especially Vinny, where he's part Bengal. There's like a wild element to him, but over time they get domesticated, and they can learn to communicate with them and love them, you know, which is pretty cool. But it's a great game. I'm very impressed. A few of my friends have contacted me about it, and they equally love it. My friend Highlander out of Holland, he's played it with his daughter and loves it. And so it's so cool to see other people that are having a good time. My friend Mikey in Richmond, I guess Virginia, he's played it and loves it. He's got a cat, little Zoe, his little black cat. So for you cat people out there, you've got to play it. It's not a super cat or super being, some crazy intelligent thing. Just a regular run-of-the-mill stray house cat. You don't know if it's male or female. You just play as this cat, and you kind of see the world through the eyes of a cat. And after a while, you start to think like a cat as to where you're going to jump next and what you're going to do next, which is very cool. In fact, my wife started watching it from the beginning, and she was really enjoying it. So I don't even want to play any more of it until she can sit here. And I got my granddaughter here. She started to watch it, was really getting into it. She got a little spooked out by the parasitic little creatures that are in it. She thought it was a little too intense with the somber, scary music and the little parasite things. So she just started, she wanted to go, but she plays Overwatch, and plays a lot of these little roadblocks, whatever they call them, and plays a lot of things on her little laptop. So she's quite a gamer, and her about 10 years old. She's been here a lot, so because of that, I've been playing games too much, but I did play for an hour and a half or so and really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to get back to it. I want my wife to sit and watch it because we haven't gamed in a long time, and this is a game you can definitely, if you have anyone in the family has an affinity for your pets or cats like I do, it's right up your alley. Great. There's a guy named Jackson Galaxy. He's an expert on cats. He's done his own TV shows on Animal Planet or something about cats, and he's an expert on them, helps people with their cat issues and problems. He's doing a video today, this Saturday, on it, and I'm anxious to see it, where he's actually reviewed the game, or they gave him an early copy, and he was just blown away. He just said they nailed the cats in this game. So I know Solid Rev, a lot of people will just, you play your Power Washer Sims and your cat games. I'm waiting for the next, he wants to play that new version of the Last of Us, and remastered, I guess. It looks pretty good. The graphics do look good. I'm just so sickened by what they did with the second one that it's even tainted my view of the first one, sadly. But I probably won't be buying that new version of it. But for those of you that like it, I understand. It looks like a great game. It looks like they did a really good job remastering, bringing it up to modern day standards. But anyway, that's it, guys. What else did I get? I got a couple. They had a good sale on PlayStation, so I picked up a few things. I got, the what's it called? The Weird West game, which I watched ACG. Now, I missed his review of this early on, but I was just going through some of his reviews. I had missed a few of them, so I went back a couple months and watched his review of this Weird West, a strange kind of a top-down isometric RPG, and it looks fantastic. Really a great concept of like kind of the Western theme, but with spiritual things and demonic creatures and spells, and so you got like special powers plus a 6-shooter and shotguns. It's just my kind of game. I love the music and graphics of it. I'm very anxious to play it. ACD did a glowing, Carrick at ACD did a glowing review of it. You can watch his review of that if you're interested. It's very, very good. A fantastic game, and they had a good deal on it anyway on the PlayStation Store. And what else? Oh, I get all the DLC for my Wolfenstein Colossus 2, the New Order. They have normally it's an expensive DLC, and I got it for less than 50% off. Really good deal on that, and I got the DLC for half off on Outer Worlds as well, which had 2 expansions, 2 complete story level expansions. which look quite good, kind of mystery, type things. And the trailers look quite good in those. So I've been trying to catch up on some of my DLC I'm getting behind on. But anyway, let me know in the comments if any of these games appeal to you. Have you played Stray? Have you played Weird West or any of these newer games, or Metal Max Xeno, the original or the Reborn one? Let me know in the comments. Sniper Elite 5. I initially wanted to do my impressions and then get a review out, and then the COVID just snuffed that right out. That was the end of that. So now everyone's already done reviews of it. It's been long gone. Now people are playing something else. So I don't know. I'll probably get to some impressions or review of it at some point, because it does look quite good, and I do love that series, and I've played every one of them. And I got the deluxe edition, so I got all the DLC coming for this as well. Plus the Kill Hitler DLC. They have it, every one of them. They got a Kill Hitler DLC, but you get to kill him over and over, which is cool. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate all your kind comments and my community posts, and I'll be back soon with more videos. Bye.